Hi, I'm Dre. Welcome to my home. It's a 2011 Chevy Collins Skoolie. It's 21 feet, and I live in it full time. I'm here in beautiful Baja with Jimothy here. Jimberly, Jimbalaya, Jimily. Come on in, join us. Tea, would you like? Got some peppermint, dandelion, turmeric. This is my kitchen. It has a sink. It also has a stove, a propane stove, and it works great. Only thing I will say is that if you have two big pots, they're like hitting each other and like taking up space that's not there. So two big pots don't really work very well, but that's okay. I try to do everything in one pot. And oh, I have a Berkey. I love my Berkey. So this one is, I think, the travel size. It's the smallest one. It holds 1 gallon. Yep, 1 gallon. It's a gravity fed, so it goes through these 2 filters. You just pour the water in, goes through the filters before it can get into here. And I've loved it so far. I haven't had any issues. I usually will like fill up mason jars and put them in here so I can have cold water. This stand comes with it, actually. Some people like to keep theirs over by the sink so then they can just put their cup down there. I liked the stand, and we bolted it or screwed it into the butcher block, and then if you come over here, it's also bolted to the wall, and we just added this little metal piece to go around it, and it's secure. Hasn't moved yet. But I will say, this, if you don't have a towel, rattles every time I'm driving. So I add this little towel and no rattle. It's wonderful. Kind of dirty, don't look. Don't look. So in order to keep all of my jars from moving, my friend the other day was just like, you have so much glass. How do you do it? So when I was buying all my stuff for the bus, I kept all of these pieces of foam, and then I cut out circles that match the size so that they're in their own little hole, their own little spot. So unless I'm on a really, really bumpy road, they'll stay where they are. It has to be super bumpy, and then they'll just go like that. So not so bad. I have I think it's like a 7-gallon gray tank. I have to dump it pretty, well, like once a week maybe, if I'm using a lot of water, maybe every 5 days. And then I have 20 gallons of water, but I use these little like 5-gallon tanks. So I have to switch it out probably like every 3 days, 2 or 3 days. Cool. So this is my top drawer. Ooh. It is held in place by this magnet. It is can I swear it's a fucking amazing magnet. Like I have to like it's hard. In here I keep napkins and scrubbies and coffee filters, knives, spatulas, and such large tongs. And then in this one, that one's the strongest of all of them. I'm not sure why they vary, but that one's the hardest to open. And then here I keep my plates, and I kept the thingies that came with them, and I just leave them there so they're not rattling against each other. And I also kept the other foam piece that's underneath so that it's safer. And then I just shove stuff in there. These are great. I love them. Here is my blender, other little snacks and stuff. And here is like my everything drawer. Who knows what you're gonna find? And then this is where I keep my pots and my pans and my cutting board and my propane tank. They are all in there perfectly. Here is another one of my favorite features. It's my fridge. It's an Everchill 12-volt fridge, and it's pretty big. I love it. I will say that the back gets a little frozen sometimes, but I have another friend who has it, and they just messaged the company right away and they got a new one, which I didn't do. So you could, if that happens to you, could always reach out. Pretty big on the inside. I love it. Underneath my fridge is my diesel heater. Ooh. So it's just in this little space down here, and it actually, we cut a hole in the floor so it sits down there, and everything, all the tubing is outside, and the diesel tank is outside as well. So I have access to that when I fill up my diesel for my regular tank. And then I also had him split it so that air was coming this way, hot air was coming this way, and then I also have one here so that it's coming out this way, just to like make sure when I'm in cold places that my my solar system doesn't get too cold. And just where the puppies are down here, heat rises, so I'll go and make my bedroom nice and warm. Here is another little pantry, just keeping more food supplies and such. Can't have enough snacks. Here is my dinette couch. So typically I have it in dinette setup because I work full-time on the road. And so this part, it's a lagoon table so it can turn and whatnot. So this part all slides off, and then I actually have another piece that I keep back there that comes in between, and then I slide these all over and I have a couch. I am full-time working on the road, which has been amazing. I lived in Hawaii for 7 years, and I was so nervous to tell my company because I was thinking they probably would just say I had to quit at that time, and they said I could keep my job. So I'm fully remote now. I have to go back every quarter. I have to go back for like a week or two to work. And I work with kids with autism, so I supervise their therapy. Their sessions happen no matter what. I just come in and I supervise the therapist during the session. It's been kind of nice to have something to do. I don't think I'm someone who can not have something to do every day. So I make my own hours. That's great. And I feel like it's kind of grounding to like sit down, get to work, do my stuff, and then I'm free to be on vacation when I'm not working. I also have lots of great storage. I'll show you real quick. In here, I keep my dog food, extra shoes, dog stuff mostly. And then on the other side, this is the bigger ones. They're actually not the same size. This one's a little bit wider than that one. This one is my pantry. I just like keep all my extra food in there. I also keep it all in Tupperware bins because like I said, I've had mice in my house before, and it's terrible. Underneath is my bathroom. I will show that to you now. This is the small Trillino. It's a composting toilet, and I use Coco Core. You put some in the bottom, do your thing, put some on top. You don't have to turn it. There isn't any ventilation. So you do have to change it probably like once a week-ish. Otherwise, it can get like a little moist in there. And then it separates your poop from your pee, and so you have your little pee tank as well. I like it. It's a little small. The pee tank's a little small, so I have to change the pee tank like every day almost, but that's fine. And then I also have my little baby Jackery that I keep down here, and all of my work stuff is over here too. I have wanted to do bus life, well, van life at first, but bus life for a long time. Ever since I moved to Hawaii, I wanted to do just like a West Coast trip, but then the idea of leaving Hawaii, it's such a big move that it's like, I'd rather come and be on the mainland for longer and see as much as I can see. I don't really know what like sparked it. I think it was just the idea of a road trip, and I wanted to do it with my dog. And then it kind of just snowballed into, I might as well just live on the road full time. So I was originally going to do a van. My partner at the time and I thought about doing it, and we had the plan, and we were going to actually do a short Skoolie. And then we broke up, and I wasn't going to go on the road, and I was like, what am I doing? I should go on the road. And I decided to do a van. I do have 2 dogs, but I was like, oh, it'll be fine. And I started looking, and it was probably the worst possible time to ever look for a van. It was like all of the vans were like $15,000 to $20,000 above their MSRP. I almost bought a salvage title Ford Transit for like $45,000, like way too much money. I was so close. I did the pre-purchase inspection, so I was like, this is the best I can find. And then finally, I think my sister was like, why don't you just look at Skoolies? Like, just look into that again. And this was the first Skoolie I found, and was just knew that it was the right choice. And so I bought it that week. And I'm so glad that I did. I think because I do work full time, and I have the 2 dogs, and they're very rambunctious, I think this was the best choice for me. And now I just love all the space that I have. Like if it's a rainy day, I can be in here and do yoga and have like a big enough space that I don't feel like I'm cramped inside all day. So these are my perfect, beautiful curtains that my stepmama, she made for me. So they have these little faux leather pieces that just button on, and then you roll them down. I liked the white because I like to wake up with the sun. I don't want it to be fully blacked out. I do have blackout insulated panel like curtain things that I go like up against here if I really am worried about the heat or the cold. I saw on someone else's rig actually that you can like take these off if you install another set of these down here. So like, let's say you wanted your curtains down, but you wanted airflow, you could do that. I haven't really found it necessary for me, but it is an option. And these are just little like brackets from Walmart, and the curtain rod is from Walmart too. And they're like, I don't know, $5 total for the rods and all of these little brackets. So it's a pretty cheap option, and you can't necessarily see them that much. Doesn't seem to matter for me. And then when you want to put them up, you just roll them up. Roll them on up. Here we go. And you just do that. Button them back on. And there you are. Got your cute little curtains, thanks. Here is my closet. I thought about doing a hanging closet, but figured I could keep more clothes if I did the shelves. And I use a lot of bins. Bins are super helpful to keep things organized. I do kind of wish I had a hanging area, but it's worked out just fine. I have my beauty drawer. Have all my lotions and such. And this one has jewelry and other beauty things and such. On here is kind of like a free-for-all. Who even knows what's down here? Got my hiking backpack in here, my water bottle, and then I have like a couple bins of like extra things. Go be there. Oh, that's so good. This is the puppy's bedroom. They love it here. This is one of their favorite spots to be. I also keep all my water tanks. My extra water tanks are right here that I bungee corded through my bed rungs. There's 3 more of them there, making 20 gallons. Welcome to my bedroom. This is a queen size bed. I love it. Me and the puppies sleep up here, so they have half and I have half. I decided to do Coco Core mats underneath it for airflow, just to decrease the likelihood of mold. I also have the slats too for that same reason. There's actually a little bit of space on each side of the bed, so I use that as storage for my blankets and sweatshirts, and I'm realizing I have a lot of clothes. So clothes are everywhere. They're hiding. They're in that pillow. They're in that pillow. They're here. They're here. Everywhere. Up top, you can see I have wraparound shelving. I wanted to do that because I like the feeling of having more overhead space, and I didn't want it to be just cabinets everywhere and then feel like I'm more boxed in. So I actually did 6-inch shelves on this side where my head would be, and then this side is 10 inches, and that side is 6 inches as well in case you like come up and over. And then I flipped it on this side because I figured where I'm cooking and stuff, I wouldn't want as much shelf over the stove. So that one's 6 inches and that one's 10 inches wide. I just like the openness. I like to feel like I have more space. I am very new to the queer community and exploring that for myself. And the very first thing that I did was go to Van Life Pride, which was the best choice I've ever made. I just got to be surrounded by amazing, beautiful, queer van lifers who were so welcoming and loving. It felt like a family reunion, even on that first one. And then we just had another one this year. So it's been very welcoming. My experience has been fine on the road. I've been with my queer family this whole time, so I think we're stronger in numbers and taking care of each other and looking out. So I think for me, I've been so lucky to have met all of my closest friends on the road within like the first 2 months of being on the road. Here is my AC unit. It is a 12-volt Mabru. It's a company they do work for boats and stuff. It uses a lot of my battery, about 10% of my battery every hour that it's running in the sun, in full sun. So I can't necessarily say I recommend it highly. I think a mini split would be a better choice, but it has helped me on many occasions when it's been really hot and I've been worried about the dogs being too hot, or I'm having to work and I'm sitting here sweating, then I'll turn it on. So it's been great. Or if I'm motion sick and I need to come lie down and it's hot, that's been a really nice time too. So it's been good. I've honestly think I've used it like 5 or 6 times in the last year and a half. So, might not have needed it. The Air Max fan works super well. Here is my electric box. I just had my builder friend make it look pretty. So there's the electrical, lots of insulation, which I have had mice live in, so be careful. Here is just like a little extra storage bin. I keep my medical supplies, important information, documents and such. You know, all the good stuff. I installed little curtain racks here. I have another one here and then one on the other side. This I just like to pull out at nighttime, or even when it's really hot, I'll put it out. It's like I wouldn't say insulated, but this part is supposed to keep the heat out or the cold. So I'll shut this at night so that you can't see in, or I'll do it when it's like too hot to try to keep it, or too cold. I got all my stickers. My sticker wall. It's my favorite. I have a bin full of stickers that I just can't commit yet. So maybe you'll see some new ones. Here is my one real plant. It is an air plant because I can't keep anything else alive. I've tried pothos. I've tried all the ones that they tell you at the places, at the garden shops are easy. They're not easy. So I have fake plants everywhere. And then up here is my little tchotchke exhibit. It's my little troll, my little frog, my mushroom, my Frida cup. They all bring me joy. They are my favorite. I love them. And my little crystal tree. And my hats. It's a great place to put hats so they don't get smushed or like they hold their form, I think. It's been working so far. A little shelf, mostly for dog things. This is my little dog Fanny. And poop bags and bones and dog things. And then my friend Carrie gave me this Beanie Baby. Still has its plastic tag. It's gonna be worth something one day. My builder hated this part because it was the most difficult, I guess, for all the little edges and space, but he did it and it turned out amazing. I love it. So a few things that I maybe would change is my water setup. Sometimes I wish that I had like a bigger water tank. I do have those 4 or 5 gallon tanks that I have to like manually take out and switch out, which is honestly not that big a deal, but sometimes it's so annoying. And I'd just rather have something that like I put the hose in and it just lasts longer. I also kind of wish I had a shower. I feel like when I was building it, everything that I was reading was saying you don't need a shower. Everyone uses theirs as a storage unit or like storage. And so I didn't do it. And now that I'm in Baja, I kind of wish I did. Luckily, I travel with a friend who has a shower, so that's been fine. Planet Fitness is awesome when you're in the United States, so that really wasn't an issue until I've been down in Baja where I'm like, oh, a shower could have been nice. I also recently saw another person's bus who is the same size as mine, and they had a completely different layout that I thought was more open. And so if I were to fully change it, then maybe I would do that layout instead. But otherwise, I really like this layout for just me and knowing that I have options to shower. One of my most favorite outdoor features of the bus is my awning. It's a Rec Pro. I think it's 13 feet long, I think. I really wanted it to be longer to go over my door, but it wouldn't have been able to be installed. So super easy to set up. It takes me like literally 2 minutes. It's not electrical. I didn't want that because I don't know how to do anything. So I can do this, and this can be fixed easily. My dad set it up for me. It's my favorite because all my friends don't have one, so they come and sit in my front yard all the time. And when I'm working here, they're sitting here, and I can still be a part of everything. It's my favorite. This is also one of my favorite parts of the outdoor features. This is my door. When my dad was working on it, I really didn't want to have a key. I haven't had a key in my life in a long time, and I didn't want one. So we were trying to figure out a way to have this kind of keypad lock. And I saw a picture on Google. It had just a picture. I couldn't find the link to it, so I just looked at it. And so what we did is we kept one panel on, took the other one off, and then built all of this here, and then had the little half moon. And there, he added it onto the one panel. So there it is. I love my door. Thanks, Dad. Here is my garage. It's pretty gigantic. Right now, I just got this new e-bike, super stoked about it. Coming down to Baja, unless you want to feed your dog the food that's here, you need to bring your own. So right now it's kind of packed with dog food and other things that I might need. I also have my solar set up down here. And then I have a bunch of Tupperware big bins that have my outdoor shower that I haven't used, my art box, my cocoa core for my toilet paper. Yeah, I have extra diesel right now, just in case, because there's not a lot of gas stations sometimes. And then my winter clothes and sheets. I also keep my 2 surfboards, an 8.0 and a 7.5 in here. Typically, I kind of like scooch everything over and then they come just past my bed a little bit. Not ideal, but I didn't have time to install a rack outside. So my solar setup is 8 100-watt solar panels. All of my solar system is down there. My awesome dad also made it so that the dogs wouldn't be able to get access to the electrical area. I have 400 amp hour lithium batteries and an inverter, and it's worked out great. I had 4 solar panels, and then when I got the AC, I knew I would need more solar, so I got 4 more. And it's been great. I think for a 12-volt AC, you'd want even more solar, or even another battery or something. It just pulls so much. So if you're going to rely on that, I think you would need more than what I have. But for me, it's been awesome. I also have a shore power hookup so that I can pull up to an RV park or a friend's house and just plug in and get all my solar going, or get my batteries charged. And then I also thought I had it attached to my alternator, but TBD. Got to check it on that. This is Lucky Girl, Mean Girl, Naughty Girl. That's her nicknames. Sweet little angel baby naughty face. So cute. This is her brother Jimmy. They're siblings. And they love living on the road. They love going to the beach. They love being in the forest. They have a pretty amazing life. Jimmy, come on, buddy. What? Thanks for watching my bus tour. Goodbye.